Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me today for day 10 of our 100 days of trails taken. So yesterday we moved on to our new trail marker, which is who else? The family. So after yesterday's day 9, because we were talking about relationships and your current status of relationships, even if it's within your own self, I found this book, Real Love by Greg Bear, to be incredibly insightful and very powerful in opening up my own understanding of myself and my own awareness of my own crap. So yeah, it was a really good little key to get me going, to start me off. So I highly recommend that. Real Love by Greg Bear. Okay, so our question today is current living arrangement. So are you with your parents, with your family, with an extended family? Are you on your own? Do you have roommates or other? All right, welcome back. These loaded questions, right? Like, brings up so many things. It's crazy, but so awesome, because you can see how, such a simple question, your current living arrangement, could bring up so many different times in your life, because you reflect back on, this is my current living arrangement. So where have I been before if I'm here now? Right? So a whole bunch of things like that come up. Things around, you could have, let's just start with the list here. Are you with your parents? So is it circumstance that you're with your parents? Do you take care of them? Is it financial? Do you live with your parents because you're still young and you haven't really ventured out of the nest yet? Maybe failure to launch, or afraid of being on your own, or afraid of getting out there and, being alone. It's a big world, right? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with living with your parents. A lot of cultures and things live with their extended family. That's part of just the way it is. And, for a lot of reasons, they take care of each other, teach each other, nurture each other, are there when times are bad and times are tough, and they kind of carry each other through. So that's I think that's nice. Just because we do things a little bit different here in the Western world. So a lot of things can be learned from other cultures and the way they do things. I think also there's a lot less sickness and things, and a lot less, abuses and violence and those kinds of things, because everybody's got each other's backs generally. Not saying that it doesn't happen, of course, but it's nice to have your folk around. Okay, family. So maybe you are with your own family, your own children, your own spouse, or you're with your extended family. Maybe you live with a whole bunch of people. Maybe you have your grandparents there, or I don't know. Like maybe you live with your aunt and uncle. That's an extended kind of relationship. Myself here, I cohabitate with my partner, and we live here in a large home that's owned by his family. And there's family around. They're not like right in our, in our space here, but we share the kitchen. So it's still almost like you're living with your family, but you don't actually have to be stuck in the same space all the time. We also have I like to call her my hallmate, because we pass each other in the hall sometimes, and she has her own little apartment over there, but she's part of the family. So, it's kind of nice, and you never feel like you're ever alone. There's, very rarely is there nobody here. So, I mean, that's another thing too, right? Sometimes it's nice to be completely alone and not have to, maybe you want to have a good cry and you don't want people to listen, or maybe your stomach's really upset that day. Do you know what I mean? I bet you do. Okay, so yeah, are you on your own? Some people choose to be on their own. Some people are afraid to be around other people. So, they, what do you call that? I was going to say hibernate. No, hermit. Yeah, like go into kind of solitude, which for some people it works really great. I mean, it's awesome if you're trying to say write something or composing a piece of music, or yeah, I don't know, just when you need like the focus. It's nice to have the time, the solitude in that way, I think. And also sometimes if you've been on your own for a while, it's really hard to accept somebody back in to your space, or set in your ways, as they say. I know a few people, they're set in their ways. I think you're probably listening, so you probably know I'm talking about you. I love you all the same. As does everybody else. Roommates. So a lot of people get roommates because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to come home to an empty space, because sometimes that feels really lonely. Or roommates to help, share financial burdens. Or maybe you're like longtime friends and you choose to be roommates in that way. Yeah, why not? I think that's fantastic. Support each other, help each other out in that way. That's almost like being family. Okay, so yeah, I put other because she's my hallmate. She's not my roommate, but she's my hallmate. Okay, what else? I need my glasses. Let's see. Yeah, cohabitation. Just learning how to live with other people. We grow up as children. We grow up and we're excited to sometimes venture out on our own, or sometimes you're afraid, so you don't. As we just talked about. But generally, I think most people are pretty excited to get out there and at least try. If you're not going off, say, to university and, staying kind of on your own. Leaving the nest is the thing, and launching and having a good launch. Sometimes it's hard for the parents to let go, or grandparents, or whoever your, the people are who reared you, took care of you, nurtured you. It's hard for them to let go also. But we gotta spread our wings and learn how to fly on our own, even if it takes us 55 years, right? Don't be afraid to launch. I think it's super important in that independence learning. We gotta go from, we're dependent on, obviously, our parents, generally, when we're babies. And then we grow and learn how to do things up for ourselves on our own. And then, goes around and we're like trying to push them away after, we want to do it on our own. We want to be our own sovereign being. And I think that's part of the process, is learning to be a lone wolf and also to be within the pack, and where in there is the right mixture of, we're all one, but we all have to learn how to be independent and be our own, to understand what that is, because we have complete free will, and every choice we make, leads to, here, how we've got here is from our own choices. So yeah, having other people around also sways those choices a lot of the time. Either we're afraid to speak up, or we don't want to upset the apple cart, or there's a lot of reasons. Yeah, I think people begin to resonate with each other. What did they say? You become like the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Yeah, if everybody's negative all the time when they're around, or they've had a bad day at work and everybody saves it until they get home from work, that makes a tough. Their home is supposed to be your sanctuary, but everybody needs to let off steam, right? So this is part of our own discipline, I believe, on our own path, is to just make sure we take care of our own stuff so we don't muddy up everybody else. Yeah, I didn't really get any triggers today. One regarding my ex-husband, but I'll work on that one myself, and that has to do with resonance and the feelings of the mood of another person. I'm an empath, so I can feel things intensely, and I think that's a big reason why I disassociated and blocked the feelings in my body, because there was so much negativity going on inside of there. I just didn't want to feel it anymore, so you just stop feeling. And I'm very glad to be back in my body. I got breast cancer, and I'm in my belief and understanding of the science, and just going back and doing the research through my own experiences. I've come to that understanding. So be kind to yourself and realize sometimes that the things you are feeling aren't yours, and it's okay to, keep your boundaries, because another does not have the right to impose their crap on anybody else, but we do it all the time. So make that part strong, and then you're uneffable with. You're good. You can stand on your own, and nobody's energies are going to affect your peace. And as soon as you realize that that's happening, you can switch it, correct it, and get back into your peace and into your heart, and take a breath. And right, it's good to be grounded and centered, and taking a breath and realizing that it's not, what you might be feeling is not yours, and having the capacity to do that is important. So once you're able to respond, then you can be response able. So anything that's gone before you come to the understanding, you can't beat yourself up for it. You can't blame yourself for any of it. You just have to have compassion for yourself and understanding, and go forward from there. And from the moment of realization, you can't go back. You realize it. Now every time you go against it, you're creating something else in your body that's you don't really want there. You want the good stuff. So when we know better, we do better. I think that's a good way to go. Good way to stay. Anyways, until tomorrow, which will be day 11, still within our who else, the family. I cannot think of the question off the top of my head. So you'll just have to tune in tomorrow to find out. Until then, have a great evening and be well.